Hello dear friends and welcome back to my session. My name is Dr. Priya Singh and I am Assistant Professor, Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Jamia Millia Islamia. In my last session, I discussed about the fundamentals of catering industry and the types of catering. So today, we will be discussing further about one of the important category of the catering, that is off-premises catering, which is also known as outdoor catering, ODC. So we will first discuss about the meaning of off-premises catering. Off-premises catering is serving food at a location away from caterer's food production facility. One example of a food production facility is a freestanding commissary, which is a kitchen facility used exclusively for the preparation of foods to be served at other locations. Other examples of production facility include, but are not limited to, hotel, restaurant and club kitchens. In most cases, there is no existing kitchen facility at the location where the food is served. So, the off-premises caterers meet the needs of all the market segments, from low-budget customers who looks for the greatest quantity and quality for the least amount of money to upscale client with an unlimited budget who wants the highest level of service. The ultimate in food quality and the finest in appointments, crystal stemware, silver-plated flatware and luxurious linens. Between these two extremes is the mid-scale market segment, which requires more quality than the low-budget sector, but less than the upscale. Now, off-premises catering is an art and a science. The art is creating foods and moods as the caterer and clients together turn a vision into reality. It is science as the business of the measuring of money, manpower and the material. Successful off-premises caterers recognize the importance of both aspects, art and science, and are able to work at both the creative and the financial levels. In off-premises catering, there is only one chance to get it right. Many events such as wedding, receptions occur only once in a lifetime. Other events are scheduled annually, quarterly or on a regular basis, and the caterer who fails to execute all details of such an event to the satisfaction of the client will seldom have another chance. Now, we will discuss some few advantages and disadvantages of off-premises catering. About the advantages, most off-premises caterers require some form of advance deposit prior to an event. This deposit provides the caterer with some security if the event is cancelled, and also can be used to purchase some or all of the food and supplies for the party. Second, the off-premises catering generates additional revenues for the existing operations like hotels, club and restaurants. They can generate even more profit by providing other services, rental equipments, flowers, decor, music, entertainment and other accessory services. Then advanced forecasting is more accurate for off-premises caterers, because parties are generally booked weeks, months or years in advance. Moreover, each part of the country has seasonal swings which make revenue forecasting somewhat easier. For example, in the south, the summer months are generally less busy, but in the north, these are the busy months. Then off-premises events generate tremendous amounts of free word-of-mouth advertising, which can produce future business without the necessity of advertising. Many off-premises caterers feel that satisfied guests at one party will either directly or indirectly book another party by speaking favorably to the friends and co-workers about the event and the caterer. In other words, one party can create so many future parties. Caterers also have the advantage of being somewhat selective about their clients. There are no laws that require that you have to accept every request of the caterer. If the job doesn't meet your standard, politely decline. in sticking situations where you have already begun to work with a client but find that your communication style just don't match, or as sometimes happens with the weddings, the client is not heeding your advice and you can't even decide who's really in charge, you can walk away as long as you do so within the terms of your written agreement. If we talk about the disadvantages, we have some of these as the catering managers, owners and staff undergo periods of high stress during very busy periods. Deadlines must be met. There are no excuses for missing a catering deadline. Stress is compounded because the workload is not evenly spread throughout the year. For most off-premises caterers, 80% of the events are scheduled in 20% of the time. For most, weekends are generally busier than weekdays. Certain seasons, including Christmas, are normally busier than others. Of course, caterers must maintain general business hours too. Many have left the catering field burnt out by the constant stress and high energy demands. The seasonality of the business makes it difficult to find staff at certain times. Revenues are inconsistent, making cash management very difficult, particularly during the slower periods when expenses continue yet revenues do not. For those caterers who operate hotels, restaurants, club and other businesses, the time away from the main business spent on the off-premises business can be hurt. It is difficult for even the well-organized person to be in two places at the same time. Many hoteliers and the restaurant people find the rigor of off-premises catering too great. Some quit after realizing the difficulty of catering away from their operations. They feel that the financial benefits are insufficient compared with the effort required to cater off-premises events. Apart from the merits and demerits, we will now discuss what it takes to become a successful off-premises caterer. First is the work experience. Prior experience in the catering profession on food industry is very important. Experience in food preparation and food service, both back of the house and front of the house, helps the caterer understand the procedures and the problem in both the areas and how the two areas interface. Those with a strong kitchen background, for example, would be wise to gain some front of the house experience, and front of the house personnel should learn the kitchen routine. Many successful off-premise caterers began by working as accommodators. Accommodators are private chefs who are hired to prepare food for the parties. Many assist the client with planning the menu, purchasing the food, and even arranging for the kitchen and service staff. The food is prepared and served in the client's home or facility, eliminating the need for a catering commissary. Accommodators receive a fee for their services. The party staffs are paid directly by the clients. Then we have passion. Successful professionals are passionate about their work, and the caterers are no exception. They love what they do. Clients and staff members will quickly detect a lack of passion, and it will cost your business and good workers. If you don't love what you do, then move on and try something else. Next is an entrepreneurial nature. The desire to be an entrepreneur is a trait that is highly desirable for off-premises caterers. An entrepreneur must be willing to spend extraordinary amount of time and energy to make the off-premises catering business successful, possesses an inherent sense of what is right for the business, and have the ability to view all the aspects of the business at once rather than focusing only on one or two parts, and demonstrate a strong, incessant desire to be his or her own boss and becomes financially dependent. Then we have basic business knowledge that is very important. Accounting and bookkeeping skills are necessary to understand the financial aspects of operating a catering business. The ability to prepare and interpret financial statement is very essential. Learn as much about the computers as you can. You will be amazed at how much you can accomplish by using an email, having a website, or using a specialized programs for everything, that is from budgeting to menu planning. It is also important to understand the legal aspects of catering. Laws that affect caterers include the regulation of licensing, contracts, liability, labor, and alcoholic beverage service. A caterer, like any other business person, must have some human resource skills. Knowing how to recruit, train, motivate, and manage personnel is very critical. Off-premises caterers should be knowledgeable about how to develop and implement a marketing plan. Now, ability to plan, organize, execute and control is also very important. These are the 4 basic functions of a management. To plan, a caterer must visualize in advance all of the aspects of a catered event and document plans so they are readily understood by the client and easily executed by the staff. Organizing is simply breaking down the party plans into groups of functions that can be executed in an efficient manner. Execution is the implementation of the organized plans by the party staff. Controlling is the supervisory aspect of the event. All well organized and well executed plans require control and supervision. It is not what you expect, but what you inspect. The premier and off-premises catering firms in the United States insist on excellent supervision at each event. Then we have the ability to communicate with clients and staff. Listening is the key to good communication with clients and prospective clients. Off-premises caterers must listen carefully and attentively to determine what the client needs. A client who calls and asks, "Are you able to cater a party next Friday?" should be dealt differently from the one who calls and asks, "How much will it cost for a wedding?" The first caller is ready to buy your services, whereas the second caller is elements of successful off-premises catering. Communicating with the staff is a complex issue. In simple terms, it can be reduced to the ability to tell staff what is expected so that they understand, and the ability to receive their feedback regarding problems, both actual and potential. The result of effective communication is off-premises catering staffs that professionally execute a well-planned party that meets or exceeds the client's expectation. Then we have the willingness to take calculated risk. Off-premise catering is a very risky business. It is not the fair-hunted who are afraid of the unknown. For example, it is more risky catering a corporate fundraiser at the local zoo under a tent than serving the same group in a hotel ballroom. Off-premises caterer must know when the risk outweighs the gain. In this particular example, catering the event at the zoo without adequate cover in case of rain would probably be too risky. The event would be ruined. The tent makes the risk of rain a calculated one. Then we have a sound body and a mind. Off-premises catering requires working long hours without any rest or sleep, lifting and moving heavy objects, intense pressure, and as the deadlines are near, and even long periods of little or no business, which can cause concern. So the successful caterer should be in a good physical shape, have a high energy level, and be able to mentally deal with the seasonal business cycles that range from non-stop activity to slow periods with little or no business. Then off-premises caterers must be self-confident, but at the same time realize that they must always find ways to improve the quality of their food and services. In this profession, of fondness for people and feeling comfortable in crowds is important. A cool head when under pressure will keep both staff and client calm, while potential problems are resolved professionally and efficiently. Nevertheless, creativity is very important. This is the benchmark of all the outstanding caterers. Creative caterers are able to turn a client's vision into reality by creating the appropriate look, field menu, service and the ambience. Those who are not very creative can learn to be, or they can employ those who are creative. Then we have dependability. Dependability is a major store of success in off-premises catering. When a caterer fails to deliver what was promised, the negative word of mouth travels fast among clients and potential clients. Even in those situations where circumstances change, making it more difficult to perform as promised, the outstanding caterer will find a way to deliver rather than use the changed circumstances as an excuse not to deliver. Also, open-mindedness is very necessary. Open-minded caterers read up on catering trends and try new recipes and menus. They are willing to prepare unfamiliar dishes requested by clients. After thoroughly testing and understanding the recipes, they also discover and try new dishes. They are always learning better ways to run their business. Then we have the ability to meet the needs of client. The needs of the client must always come first. Success in this business comes from the identifying these needs and satisfying them. Unsuccessful off-premises caterers are those who get lost in trying to satisfy their own needs for money, equipment, and greater self-esteem. They forget that the primary goal is to serve the needs of the client. When a client needs are met, the caterer needs for revenues, profit, and positive feedback will automatically be met. Then the ability to project a favorable image should be one of the quality. Prospective clients hire caterers based on their perceived image of the caterer and what the caterer will provide. In some sense, then caterers are selling themselves more than their food. Off-premise caterer must be able to project a favorable image to the client, one that is in accord with the client's expectations. For example, a caterer whose image is sophisticated and upscale will be hard-pressed to sell a little league banquet with a low budget. Successful caterers understand their projected images and target their marketing efforts at those clients who desire that image. There should also be some sense of humor. In this pressure-packed, deadline-oriented and stressful business, it is very easy to get carried away with the magnitude of the undertakings and become so tense and uptight that work can be affected. Laughter at the right time can relieve some tension and stress, putting a renewed sense of fun into the work at hand. Now, how do caterers serve shrimps? They bend down. Now we will further learn how about an off-premises catering gauge a success. There are a number of signs to look for when evaluating an existing off-premises catering business. The healthy companies rate highly in all these areas. Those that are unhealthy or even on the brink of failure will not rate nearly as well. The first is management thoroughly plans, organizes, executes and control each catered event. Then they properly control in the place of cost, accounts, receivable and payable. Also liquid assets such as cash and inventories. Theft prevention is also a priority. Food and service quality is when controlled and meets or exceeds clients' approval. Pricing for food and service is fair and competitive with other firms in the marketplace. There is a spirit of healthy competition. The catering firm enjoys good working relationship with both clients and suppliers. Time and attention are given to food safety in storage, preparation and display. Employees know that the local health codes and follow them. There is a sufficient working capital to operate the business. The firm can make loan payments as they become due. Excessive credit is not extended to clients. Budgets are prepared and followed. Business records, insurance coverage and licenses are kept up to date. The information derived from these records is used to provide data to help manage the business. Sales growth is controlled. There are sufficient financial and personal resources to operate as business steadily grows. There are market trends that needs to be anticipated. Management and staff having a good working knowledge of the off-premises catering field. There are solid trusting relationships between management and the staff. The staff members are well trained and feel truly appreciated because they are. Management works closely with a qualified accountant to plan for payment of taxes. And finally, management is willing to seek qualified professional assistance if problems arise. Now, we move to gain some understanding about an off-premises catering model. As you can see in the diagram that all the factors that enter into the off-premises catering arena. It shows how managerial philosophies and techniques as well as laws regarding personal, business, alcoholic beverage service and sanitation and safety must all be interrelated to guide the company. It then depicts how marketing effort produce clients, which in turn creates the need for the site inspections and logistic plans. Including planning in these specific areas includes menu, beverage equipments, personal and any other related services. Once the planning is complete, it is possible to provide clients with the written proposals which include all the aforementioned plans along with the pricing. Normally, proposals are modified somewhat. Once modification is complete and all provisions meet with the approval of both caterer and a client, a contract is prepared that contains all the conditions outlined in the proposal. As the party date approaches, certain operational elements are important to be addressed, such as hiring and scheduling of the staff, purchasing and preparation of the menu items, ordering equipment as needed from party rental companies, obtaining licenses and permits as needed for the use of site for serving alcohol, etc., preparing a pull sheet that details all the items supplied by the commissionary to provide the party, coordinating all the beverage and accessory service with the client and all the vendors. All the pre-planning elements culminate on the day or night of the show, that even when staff, equipment, food and other service arrive at the party site and the event is executed. After the event, there are certain outcomes which include positive or negative word of mouth about the event, revenues, expenses, profits and cash, accounting records. Now, this is a very common question arises. What does the future hold for the catering industry? And now we all know that first of all, we know that catering is neither rocket science nor a brain surgery. Change is inevitable in this business, but not at the same rate as they say in molecular theory or medical technology. In fact, in catering, rediscovering foods of the previous century is trendy. Many caterers still features the signature dishes, the honey coconut shrimp, then the Caesar salad that they have served for the decades. But why? The customers demand and enjoy them. This certainly does not mean things stay stagnant in our industry. Innovative buffet and food station decor will continue to evolve. Most catering companies will continue to build their reputation on the elegant, over-the-top food presentations, and the health competition shows no signs of abating. Other caterers prize research, developing cutting-edge menu items to set them apart from the pack. Staffing woes will continue to be the monument as hiring, training and retraining get tougher. Food service has always been somewhat transient industry. Therefore, caterers will use pre-employment aptitude and personality tester, master online staff scheduling systems and develop their own training programs. They will also realize, if they haven't already, that they must treat their employees at least as well as they treat their clients. Along the same lines, in a top-tier catering operation, the employees treat each other as well as they treat their clients. Caterers of the future will come to realize that bigger it is not necessarily better. Having a large volume of business is admirable, but only when the quality of your work rises to the same level. A company can grow to the point where quality slips, gross profit margins lag, more equipment is needed, overhead costs expand, and the bottom line shrinks proportionately. The intelligent caterer will downsize, watch margins and profits grow, and overall stress levels diminish as they become more selective about the clientele they serve. Caterers are realizing that high tech will never replace personalized service or high touch. But without high tech, they will limit their potential for high touch. In an industry where amazingly some caterers still don't accept credit cards, the savvy business person is learning to embrace new technology, launching interactive websites and email marketing campaigns. They are creating improved computer-generated proposals, rental orders, packaging lists, staffing schedules, and the instant financial statements. And they are realizing that computer-savvy business owners have more time to do what they love, which is to run their business. Competitors will continue to increase, sales will grow, but not some dips because economic wars, terrorist attacks, and the resulting fears cannot help but impact the catering profession. More caterers were hurt financially by the recession at the beginning of this century than by the September 11 terrorist attacks, but both left their marks on the industry. An increased use of security cameras at the high-profile events is one result of the heightened awareness. Mega event catering is acknowledged as an excellent way to grow business at golf and tennis tournaments, air shows, boat shows, and more. In addition to being profitable events, they expose the caterer to wider range of potential clients. Then again, a caterer from different countries generates enough revenue from serving sandwiches and beverages at the Masters Golf Tournament that he need not cater all the rest of the year. The pressure experienced in servicing huge multi-day event is as big as the event themselves, but the rewards can be significant. So we can say that catering is not an easy way to make a living, but it is an extremely rewarding and interesting field that combines the interpersonal and organizational skills, the societal trends, and the financial acumen. If you do it well, your clients won't be the only ones celebrating at your events. So this was all about today's session. Hope you enjoyed the session and found it useful. Thank you and have a good day.